What's up, YouTube? Hey, C494 here, and as you guys know, I'm a big fan of the 22 ARC rifle cartridge. I've owned 3 now. This one is a 16.5 inch that I had Red Plemons, the owner of Old South Gunworks, spin up for me. And these are going to be the very first rounds through this one. I've also got a 224 Predator 20 inch, a Saturn 20 inch 22 ARC, and I had a 18 inch CAC that was trash. Anyway, what I'm going to do is fire 1 round of a load that I'd worked up, a very mild load that I worked up for the 224 Predator when I was shooting it in competition exclusively. And I'm going to run this round for a couple reasons. One, I'm adjusting the gas system. That's why I'm only loading 1 round into the magazine currently. And also because I'm doing a barrel break-in. I haven't done any load development for this. I don't own any 22 ARC factory ammo. I'm just doing my thing. And right now, I am going to shoot 1 round at the steel target down there. I've already bore sighted it, hopefully, allegedly. And we're going to see how far off we are with this 1 shot. And we're also going to see if it locks the bolt to the rear. Seems to have chambered. That's step 1. And no surprise, it worked. I don't believe it ejected. It did not, so it does not have enough gas yet. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust the scope. Okay, so it needed to come up 1.5 mils and right 1.5 mils. That was the very first round out of this barrel. I also need to adjust the gas system. Because it didn't even eject, let alone lock, I'm going to go ahead and open up this gas system a half turn. Okay. And now I'm going to fire another 1 round. I have a paper target downrange now, and I'm going to start shooting at the paper target. I'm pretty sure I just about center punched that. Alright. It appears to have ejected that round, that piece of brass. It did, but it did not lock to the rear. So I'm going to open it another half. Actually, I'm going to open it a quarter. Okay. Those 2 shots just stacked each other the bolt locked to the rear and it ejected. So, and I know this is a very mild load, but after I get it functioning from a quarter turn, that's why I do it the way that I do. I add an additional quarter to half turn after I get it functioning properly, for whenever you start shooting it in a competition or something like that, it starts to get dirty and all that nonsense. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up an additional quarter turn. All right, and we're gonna call that a Gucci bandana for now. If we run into any issues later, then we'll deal with that nonsense as it comes. I'm pretty sure it's gonna cycle now. So I'm gonna go ahead and load these last 3 and finish off this first 5-round group. And then I'm gonna take the gun inside and clean the bore. Holy shit. I'm pretty sure that is a sub half MOA group. Very first rounds out of the gun. Locked open, gas system's adjusted. I'm gonna go clean the bore. I'm currently doing the barrel break-in process. I'm gonna go take a picture of that because it's just fucking bananas. I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna continue the barrel break-in process that I do. I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. And I'll give you guys updates as they come, but so far so good. So as you guys can see, during the barrel break-in process, this thing has performed phenomenally. Right now, I am going to fire the first shots that I don't consider to be barrel break-in shots. These are going to be barrel fouling shots prior to load development. So I'm going to fire 10 rounds through it. Both are loads from the 224 Predator and the 22 ARC. What I have loaded up in it right now is an 80 grain ELDM that out of my 20-inch 224 Predator goes 2760. Normally, I would project between 30 and 50 feet per second per inch of barrel lost. 4 inches of barrel would be either 120 feet per second to 200 feet per second slower. But the chamber dimensions between, or actually the reamer dimensions between 224 Predator and 22 ARC are slightly different enough for me to believe that it might lose more velocity than that. So if it's anywhere in the 25s, I'd say that it was probably on par, but it's probably going to be in the low 25 just based on that. But I mean, if it's in the upper 25s, that's cool too. I've also got a load that is that one that I worked up for my 20-inch 224 Predator, and it's a 75 grain ELDM that goes 3015, so 3015 feet per second. So if we yank 200 feet per second off of it, then I would expect to maybe be around 2800 out of this 16-inch barrel. But we'll see. We will find out. I have the Garmin Zero, and I'm going to shoot these 2 groups, and then I'll show them to you. So there's a circle and then there's a chevron. I'm going to put these 80 grain ELDMs in the circle. Or near it. Allegedly. $24.34. If what I'm seeing is correct, that is the best group, 5-round group off of a magazine that I have ever fired out of an AR-15 in my life. But I'm not downrange, I can't quite see it, so there could be one that slipped away from me that I don't see, but I'll take a picture and let you guys see it so that you know that it's just absolutely bananas. BANANISIPPI or whatever. Alright, so for that load that I had worked up for the 224 Predator out of this gun, you know, like I said, it would probably be slower than 25 feet per second, mostly because the freeboard dimensions are different. Anyway, the average was 24:25.8, so hella slow. And the extreme spread 19, standard deviation 6.7. So I assume that I can get that bullet with a different powder and stuff like that, because it is, you know, a completely different chamber, different barrel length, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure I can probably push that 80 grain ELDM over 2,600 feet per second out of this safely, but we'll find that out later. Anyway, now let's take those 75 grain ELDMs and shoot these through it. These are what the French might call spicy out of the 20-inch. So it could blow my fucking gun apart. However, I don't believe it will. Alright, so like I said, these went 3,015 feet per second out of my 20-inch 22 ARC Saturn barrel. So I'm projecting out of these, they'll be going about 2,800 feet per second. Let's see. Let's also hope it doesn't blow up in my face, because that would be massively homosexual. $28.65. nice and round. Nice and round. Nice and round. Nice and round. That one's hot and it's nice and round, so that one's probably out of that last group I just shot. Primers all look good. Wow. Dope. Alright, cool. So I was pretty close with my numbers. Pretty close. I'm pleasantly surprised that there's no pressure signs on the primers. I will go inside and measure the case web to see if there's any expansion there. Alright. Those went 28.58. 28.58 was my average out of a 16.5 inch 22 arc with 75 grain ELDMs. That beats the hell out of Mark 262 out of even a 20-inch barrel. Man, that's phenomenal. Standard deviation 15.3, extreme spread 41.5. No big surprise there. One more important thing to note, that is actually the worst group that I've fired out of the gun. And it's still not a bad group. And the ammo that I just fired out of it was ammo that had actually been chambered during this past weekend's competition in my other guns. So there might have been a little bit of bullet setback or bullet jump from it actually seating into the chamber from shooting it this past weekend. Usually what I do in competition is if a round gets chambered, I don't shoot it in the match. I put it with my brass and just, sort through it later, and I find the live rounds in the brass. And so these were rounds that were chambered in another gun during competition, and I just had them as extras. And it went blistering fast. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Get out there and suck today's dick.